15th is tax day, which is the last day to file your taxes for 2023. But what you may not know, however, is it's the last day to make IRA contributions as well. Here to give us more info and 4 rules that may surprise you is Colin Evans from Evans Financial Group. Well, Colin, is it more important to file our taxes or max out the IRA contributions by April 15th? Which one?
Oddly enough, a lot of people have this misconception that when they're filing their taxes, they immediately need to make sure that they're funding their IRA, which is actually not the case. They can actually go ahead and file and put down whatever amount that they're putting into their IRA just so they can get that deduction, and they can put that money in at a later date. Oddly, what is similar, or a thing that happens that a lot of clientele do and a lot of people do that's not uncommon, is they will actually go ahead, file their taxes, they will claim a IRA so they get that deduction, and they wait to get their tax return. Then they use the tax return funds as what they kind of put back in and use that for their IRA. Now, keeping in mind, it has to be done, just like taxes have to be done by April 15th. The funds for an IRA contribution for the prior year have to also be done by April 15th. So that is a deadline. So there's folks that are filing early. Yes, you can delay having to put that money in, but you got to keep in mind that there is still an April 15th deadline on that. Now, one of the other big ones is spousal contributions that can help. And what we mean by spousal contributions is, in the most common is if we have a husband and wife and one are typically stay at home, and we immediately kind of pick on the mom, we say the stay at home mom. Oddly, she can actually still fund an IRA based off of her spouse's income. So she can actually still plan and contribute, and they can as a unit to contribute to his as well as to hers. Even though she's not technically working, we're kind of partnering off of the spouse's income.
That's interesting.
So that's something that is, so they don't think
Is that something new, Colin, or
that one is not. Just a lot of people don't know about it, so that's why we kind of threw together a couple of these rules that were kind of unheard of.
Yeah.
And now no age limits for IRA contributions. And what happened with the Secure Act a couple years ago, the year that people turned 70 and a half, this is kind of when that golden time when Uncle Sam says you have to start taking your money out of your IRA because we want the taxes off of it. Well, since the Secure Act came into play, that was actually the last time that you could contribute to your IRA. Now that with the Secure Act did this, they did away with that age limit, which is kind of a nice thing. So even if you're retired and maybe you're working part-time and you still want to contribute, you can actually still contribute and fund an IRA account, which is a nice thing. And believe it or not, people still do that.
So the age limit is no longer in existence, period?
Period.
Oh,
correct.
Okay, so they didn't move it or anything like
correct.
that?
No, it is no longer there. So that's one of the nice things. And then we go into this. This goes back to kind of the first point with filing first and funding it later. Is this final point is this: no more extensions for your IRA contributions. Sometimes people kind of forget about doing their taxes. They might file that extensions to later in the year to where their taxes are done. But just keep in mind that you cannot get an extension for funding that IRA. That is still a hard April 15th date.
Is there a penalty for that?
No, you just can't. You can't do it.
You just can't do it, period. Okay,
no,
you
there's
don't get fined or anything like that?
No, where the implications come in will be from the IRS. If you're taking these funds out early before the time frames 59 and a half up to about 73, if you're taking these funds out early, then they want to actually penalize you for that. And really that is kind of put in force to protect us from ourselves and say, hey, I know I've got some money saved up over here, but if I take it, I'm going to get not only taxed on it, but the IRS is also going to give me a 10% penalty on top of it.
Well, thank you so much, Colin, for being here today and for talking to us about IRA contributions. I
Absolutely.
definitely learned a few things myself just sitting here listening to you. So thank you for delivering that to us this week.
Good deal. We'll see you next week.